ಏನ್ ಅಡಿಯಾಬ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ heat is neither added to the system nor heat is taken away from the system. ಏನಿದು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಇನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ಗೆ don't be bothered about the magnitude of the answer. Simplification of powers will yield you the realistic answer. What do you call the anode potential as? Hello students, this is SD Sir from the Temple of Excellence, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysore. I wish all the students who have taken up CET 2020 a grand success. Here I make an effort to analyze the physics paper. You had constraints on time. Every question had only 1 minute to be answered. So you have already got an view further to answer entrance examination. So again, wishing you all the best. I start dissecting the paper. The first question. The problem says a sphere, a cube, and thin circular plate. There are three materials: sphere, cube, and a thin circular plate, all made of the same material and same mass. All the three objects have been made of the same material and same mass, are initially heated to the same high temperature and further allowed to cool down under similar conditions. So the problem reads, all the three objects, sphere, cube, and a plate, which are made of the same material and same mass, heated to the same high temperature, are allowed to cool under similar conditions. And according to the assertion of the options, I have to find out which object will cool faster. When I say the word cool, it means decrease in temperature or loss of heat energy, which means somewhere I have to relate energy, temperature. So we have all studied our Stephen's law, which told E is equal to A sigma T to the power 4. Amount of heat energy radiated per second per unit area is sigma T to the power 4. Sigma is Stephen's constant. And very clearly the problem has told same boundary conditions. They are heated to the same high temperature. They have to cool down under similar condition, same boundary conditions, which means E is proportional to the area of the surface. So the object which has more surface area will emit more radiations in a less interval of time. Which is the object that will have more surface area? That is the plate. So the plate will cool the fastest and sphere the slowest. So very clearly from the Stephen's law, E directly proportional to A. So the object having more surface area cools faster, an object with less surface area will take time to cool. Fine. Second question. In adiabatic expansion of an ideal gas, the product of pressure and volume. So somewhere we know PV is nRT. So the product of pressure and volume is temperature. The question is indirectly to ask, what happens to temperature when there is adiabatic expansion of the gas? My dear students, you have studied an adiabatic process. An adiabatic process andre heat is neither added to the system nor heat is taken away from the system. ಒಂದು adiabatic process ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಗೆ ಹೀಟ್ ನ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಅದರಿಂದ ತೆಗೆದಾಕಲ್ಲ. But already the molecules of the system would have gained some energy. Already there would be some collisions between the molecules. So as a result, there is temperature. But when you are neither giving heat energy nor taking out heat energy, kinetic energy of the molecules decrease. If the kinetic energy is less, collisions decrease. When the collisions decrease, temperature decreases. So always understand, during adiabatic expansion, there is reduction, loss of kinetic energy. Why? Heat is neither added to the system nor taken away from the system. Number of collisions, frequency of collisions reduce. So temperature has to decrease. So the answer is the third option, that temperature decreases. A certain amount of heat energy is supplied to a monoatomic ideal gas which expands under constant pressure. There is a monoatomic ideal gas which is expanding under constant pressure. What fraction of the heat energy is converted into work? Andre, how much of heat energy is given to the system, and out of that, what fraction is converted into work under constant pressure? Work andre expansion of the gas anta ಅನ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಏನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? If dq is the amount of heat that is supplied to a system at constant pressure, how much of that heat energy is converted into work? Andre, how much of the energy is used for the expansion of the gas? So remember, there is a shortcut we follow here. dW by dQ is always equal to 1 minus 1 by gamma. So here, this is the fraction of energy getting converted into work. ಇದೇನಪ್ಪ ಇದು gamma ಅನ್ನೋ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. From where did I get this factor gamma? Because I know it is a monoatomic gas. We write literally gamma is Cp by Cv. ಏನ್ ಕರೆದ್ವಿ ಗಾಮಾನ? ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಹೀಟ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟೀಸ್. And what information did you get from gamma? Nature of the gas. Monoatomica, diatomica, triatomica. ಈ ಒಂದು ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ನ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮಾ. Therefore we write this is 1 minus 1 by 5 by 3. Gamma for a monoatomic gas is 5 by 3. You need to know the values of gamma for gases. See, entrance examination, span of 1 minute, you need to crack the problem. Conceptual depth should be strong. Simplification should be brisk. Monoatomic gas is very clearly given. Gamma for monoatomic gas should be known, 5 by 3. So this is 1 minus 3 by 5, where I arrive at the answer as 2 by 5. So the fraction of heat energy converted into work is 2 by 5. Fourth question, very interesting. The problem reads, a tray of mass 12 kgs. If you analyze the diagram, there is a tray whose mass is 12 kg supported by identical springs. Two identical springs are shown in the figure. When the tray is pressed down slightly and then released, it executes simple harmonic motion with a time period of 1.5 seconds. The spring constant of each spring has to be calculated. My dear students, if you have gone through my materials and classwork, this is one of the problems similarly worked out there. So a tray of mass 12 kg, which is supported by two identical springs. ಏನಿದು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. Now, as the problem says, tray is pressed. ಈ ಟ್ರೇ 12 kg ಮಾಸ್ ಟ್ರೇ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುನಃ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Since it is attached to the spring, it executes simple harmonic motion of time period 1.5 seconds. I have to calculate the spring constant of each spring. If you realize the expression spring constant in terms of simple harmonic motion, T equals 2 pi root of m divided by K effective, where m is the mass of the object, K effective is the effective spring constant. Now, what is K effective here? Please know that arrangement of springs, or what I call as combination of springs, is very similar as the arrangement of capacitors. 12th standard alli capacitors in series and parallel anta odirtira. Any combination of springs is very similar to the arrangement of capacitors. You need to know this. Here by nature, if you observe, two springs are connected in parallel. So here K effective is K plus K, which is 2K. Remember, capacitors in parallel, C1 plus C2. This is spring constants in parallel. Now T is given to be 1.5. I rearrange and write 3 by 2 because I need to square and eliminate. So 3 by 2 is 2 pi 12 divided by 2K. On simplification, when you square and eliminate the square root, the first option will be the answer. So simplification part, be brisk in doing that. I'll give you all the concept. Fifth one, it is a conceptual question. Actually, the third graph should be like this. If you analyze the question, it is exactly based on your Doppler effect. I am the stationary observer. Train is coming towards me with its own natural frequency. I am standing on the platform. I am at rest. ನಾನು ಸ್ಟೇಷನರಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಟ್ರೈನ್ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಹಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ದ ವಿಸಲ್ with its natural frequency. Now, as the train is receding, ನನ್ನಿಂದ ದೂರ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. Sound decreases, apparent decrease. So it is getting decreased here. After certain distance, again, it moves with that constant frequency. So the second option will be the option. Now, a point charge Q is placed at the corner of a cube of side A as shown in the figure. What is the electric flux through the phase A, B, C, D? Fine, quite interesting. There is a cube anta kottidare, whose side is A. Now, a charge Q is placed at one of the corners. As you read the diagram, a charge Q is placed at one of the corners of that cube. But we have been asked to calculate the flux through the phase A, B, C, D, through one of the faces of the cube. My dear students, the moment I say charge, the moment I say electric flux, how do I relate them? The famous Gauss law of electrostatics, which told electric flux through any surface is 1 by epsilon naught times Q, where Q was the charges, total charges present on that surface. My dear students, if you observe, Q is the charge that is present at the point A, and I am calculating flux through the phase A, B, C, D only through one of the phases. Cube has 6 phases. I am calculating the flux only through one of those 6 phases. So flux is 1 by 6. 1 among those 6 phases, Q by epsilon naught. Basic application of Gauss law. Only one phase out of the 6 present, I am calculating the flux. So the answer has to be Q divided by 6 epsilon naught. Very interesting now. Electric field lines. Yen electric field lines andre, what do I represent by electric field lines? Again, one of the very much question from my unit test. Field lines indicate the path traveled by an UPC in the electric field. Yenen indicate madutte electric field lines? The path in which UPC moves in an electric field. Electric field lines on the left have twice the separation as those on the right. Left, right. Electric field lines on the left have twice the separation on those on the right. Electric field lines which are towards the left have twice the separation than the field lines on the right. So on the left, the electric field lines are separated by some distance. If the field lines are far away, are separated, electric field strength decreases there. Now he says, if the magnitude of the electric field at A is 40 volt per meter, electric field strength at the point A is 40 volt per meter. What is the force on 20 microcoulomb charge kept at B? Field strength at A is 40 volt per meter. I have to calculate force acting on a charge placed at B. You all remember expression for force acting on a charge in an electric field, which we wrote F equals Q into E. Basically, I have taken this from the definition of intensity. Q is the magnitude of the charge. E is the strength of the electric field. So this is 20 microcoulomb Micro andre ಎಷ್ಟು 10 power minus 6. This is the strength of the electric field at this region B, because charge is placed in the region B. So I have to consider the strength of the electric field at B. How much it is? Strength at A, I know, is 40 volt per meter. But the hint I know, at B, field lines have twice the separation on those on the right. So electric field at B should be half of the electric field at A. Twice the separation. A is 40, half of the strength should be the field at B. So this is into 20 volt per meter, or this is 400 into 10 power minus 6. All my powers are in terms of minus 4. So this is 4 into 10 power minus 4. So the third option will be the correct answer. Fine. Eighth one. Infinitely long, thin, straight wire has uniform charge density. ನೋಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆಸನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ, ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ, ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ. Wherever there are straight conductors, distribution of charges was defined with respect to lambda, where lambda was called uniform charge density. And here the value of lambda is 1 by 4 into 10 power minus 2 per meter charge density, coulomb per meter. What is the magnitude of the electric field at a distance 20 centimeter from the axis of the wire? So this is E. It is a straight wire carrying conductor 2 pi epsilon naught lambda by R. But most of you, the mistake you do is, for any conductor, you take the constant as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. I have seen that. No. For a straight conductor, it is 1 by 2 pi epsilon naught lambda by R. So you know the value of epsilon naught, 8.854 into 10 power minus 12. Lambda is given 1 by 4 into 10 power minus 2. Distance is in centimeters. So it is 0.2 meter. Substitute those parameters. On simple simplification, 2.25 into 10 power 8 should be the answer. Matpuna gamansi, first step of conclusive inference ge, don't be bothered about the magnitude of the answer. Most of the time, the simplification calls on the powers. So if you are able to get the nearest power, most of the times, if the powers are the same, then go for the magnitude. But simplification of powers will yield you the realistic answer. Now, ninth one, a dipole of dipole moment P. There is a dipole of dipole moment P, and moment of inertia I moment of inertia placed in uniform electric field E, dipole, two equivalent opposite charges separated by a small distance, dipole. The dipole moment is P, moment of inertia is I, placed in a uniform electric field E. If it is slightly displaced from its equilibrium position, what is the period of oscillations of the dipole? Go to your magnetism chapter, where we write the period of oscillations of a needle in a uniform magnetic field. So TB, just to represent it is in the magnetic field, we wrote the expression as 2 pi root of I mb, where I was the moment of inertia, m magnetic dipole moment, very good, magnetic dipole, b strength of the magnetic field. Now on comparison, the dipole is placed in an electric field. So I want time period of oscillations in an electric field. So 2 pi root, moment of inertia will always be the same, divided by, this is magnetic dipole moment. What is the electric dipole moment? P, strength of the electric field E. So instead of M, on comparison, electric dipole moment E, electric field strength. So the fourth option is the answer, 2 pi root I divided by PE. Hope you are following. See, you understand, I'm not going for exaggerative mathematical simplifications. Know the concept, either elimination method, comparison method, or simple simplifications, I am arriving at the solutions. Again, a commonly asked question. The difference, Madili, difference between equivalent capacitance of two identical capacitors. Two identical capacitors andrenu? They should have the same capacity in tartha. Identical. Identical in what sense? They should have the same capacity, connected in parallel, and then in series is 6 microfarad. Question ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ, first two identical capacitors are connected in parallel. Then the same identical capacitors connected in series. When this happens, the difference between their equivalent capacitance is 6 microfarad. The value of each capacitance has to be calculated. Now, effective capacitance of n identical capacitors in parallel. If you know, it is given by n into C. Resistors combination allo idane oottive, adra capacitors kuno resistors kuno conditions inverse agutte. So Cp is N into C, number of identical capacitors. So, two identical capacitors, 2C. Next, they are connected in series. So, when they are connected in series, C by N, this is C by 2. So, when connected in parallel, N into C. When identical capacitors connected in series, C by N. This is 2C, C by 2. Now, he says CP minus CS is 6. 2C minus C by 2 is 6. 3C by 2 is 6. So C is 4 microfarads. So the answer is the first option, 4 microfarads. Again, an example where you know the topics clinically, arriving at the solution is very simple. Now, conceptual thought. Figure shows 3 points A, B and C in uniform electric field. So this is a region of uniform electric field. There are 3 points in the region of uniform electric field, A, B and C. Very clearly, AB is perpendicular to the electric field. BC is parallel to the electric field. VA, potential at the point A. VB, potential at the point B. VC, potential at the point C. I have to arrive at the correct relationship between VA, VB and VC. Consider the points A and B. They are perpendicular to the given electric field, which means they are points on the equatorial line perpendicular to the axis is called equatorial line, and we have studied equatorial line behaves as an equipotential surface. An equipotential surface andre all the points on that surface should have the same potential. Therefore, here VA should be equal to VB. Points on the equatorial line behaves as an equipotential surface. They should have the same potential. Whereas BC or C particularly is a point on the axis, and we have studied potential on the axis is always slightly less. Therefore, VA should be equal to VB, and you should always be greater than VC. So the fourth option will be the answer. When a soap bubble is charged, always remember, when a soap bubble is charged, its radius always increases. So charging, this is a conceptual thought, charging a soap bubble, increasing charges on a soap bubble should increase the radius of the bubble. Very interesting question. My dear friends, again classwork of Vidyashram, Unit 11, Dual Nature of Matter, worked out instantly there. A filament liberates electron with zero initial velocity. Star mark hakute. Kindergarten alli kids ke star hakadre they've done beautifully in artha alva. Here star mark means that is the hint for me to take the solution to its grave. A hot filament. There is a hot filament which is liberating an electron with zero initial velocity. The anode potential is 1200 volts. Then what is the speed of the electron when it strikes the anode? My dear friends, what do you call the anode potential as? Cathode, emitter of photoelectrons. Anode, collector of photoelectrons, which means this anode potential is also called stopping potential. And when I say zero initial velocity, what do you mean by that? If the electron is ejected with zero initial velocity, that gives you the definition of work function of a metal. ಏನು ಓದಿದ್ರಿ work function ಅಂದ್ರೆ? It is the minimum velocity with which an electron is liberated from a metal surface. Work function. Therefore, here we write the kinetic energy of the electron is equal to the stopping potential. This is the velocity or the speed of the electron. This is the stopping potential. He wants the speed. So this is equal to, this goes 2 times V square is 2, stopping potential into E by M, or V is root 2 into stopping potential. I always express in terms of powers of 10, charge of the electron divided by the mass of the electron, 9 into 10 power minus 31. So if you simplify, the answer is around 2.1 into 10 power 7. Again, for me, this is critical. How do I arrive at this concept? Very clearly, the electron is emitted with least initial velocity, zero initial velocity, work function, under which kinetic energy becomes equal to the stopping potential. A metal rod of length 10 centimeter and rectangular cross section 1 centimeter into half centimeter is connected to a battery across opposite faces. Here you are asked to relate resistance with length and area, where my theory says resistance is directly proportional to L, inversely proportional to area. As length increases, resistance has to increase. As area of cross section decreases, resistance decreases. Therefore, by using this factor, the answer is maximum when the battery is connected across 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter faces. 15th one. A car has a fresh storage battery of EMF 12 volts and internal resistance 2 into 10 power minus 2 ohms. If the starter drives a current of 80 amperes, what is the terminal voltage when the starter is on? Given EMF, internal resistance, given current, I have to calculate terminal voltage. Terminal voltage andre terminal potential difference. Voltage is nothing but potential across the terminals. So V equals E minus I into R. Again recall friends, main exam allo one problem e expression mele based agittu. So terminal potential difference V equals E minus I into R. Substituting, EMF is 12 minus current is 80, internal resistance is 2 into 10 power minus 2, 12 minus 160 into 10 power minus 2, 12 minus 1.6, nearly 10.4 volts should be the answer. A potentiometer has 4 uniform wire of length 5 meters, battery of EMF 10 volts, and negligible internal resistance is connected across its ends. A secondary cell is connected to the circuit, gives a balancing length of 20 centimeter. Then the EMF of the secondary has to be calculated. Potentiometer na upayogisidivala, labally you have measured the ratio of the EMF of 2 cells, and by principle we wrote E1 by E2 is L1 by L2. The very basic principle of a potentiometer, V proportional to L, balancing length. So E1 by E2 equals L1 by L2. How much is E1? Battery of EMF 10 volts is connected across the ends. 10 divided by E2 is, initially the length is 5 meters. Second case balancing length is 200 centimeter or 2 meters. So when you simplify, what do we arrive at? So simplify, you get L1 by L2. L1 is 5, L2 is 2, EMF is 10. You will have to arrive at E2. So you get the answer somewhere as 4 volts. Color code for a carbon resistor of resistance 0.28 kilo ohms plus or minus 10% ohms. Color coding. B.B. Roy of Great Britain should have a very good wife. No choice. Good. I simplify this and write 28 into 10 power 1 ohm plus or minus 100%. Sorry, 10%. Which color has tolerance 10%? It has to be silver. So the option I take should have silver. Now, 2. If you observe, it has to be red. 8 has to be gray. 10 power 1 has to be brown. So the answer should be red, gray, brown and silver. So I have done this coding by using B.B. Roy of Great Britain, had a very good wife. What is the resistance between two sides of a cube? You should have learned this very effectively. So whenever we simplify a cubical network connected like this, the effective resistance is always 5 by 6 times R. He says R is 1 ohms, 5 by 6 ohms should be the answer. This is clinical, students. You need to know whenever you have a cubical network, effective resistance turns out to be 5 divided by 6R. Now, the IV characteristic of a copper wire of length L and area of cross section A. Now, what happens to the slope of that curve? Remember, IV characteristic is given, not VI characteristic. So the slope of IV characteristic will give you 1 by resistance. VI agidre resistance. Slope of I divided by V is 1 by resistance, or you can say 1 by resistance is conductance. That is 1 by resistance is rho L by A. I have written R as rho L divided by A, or this is A divided by rho L. So what happens to this slope as the length increases? Less is the length of the wire. See, the slope of the curve becomes less if the length of the wire is increased, as L is in the denominator. If you increase this L, the slope will decrease. So the slope of the curve becomes less if the length of the wire is increased. Less if the area of the wire is increased. No, they're direct. Both of them have no meaning at all. Less if the length of the wire is increased. In the given wire, the magnetic field at the center. There are 3 regions here. You can see one arc which is 1/4 less than the actual circle. 2 straight portions. What is the magnetic field at the center? This is a constant or expressive constant. Magnetic field at the center due to an arc which is 1/4 less than the complete arc. Exactly like this, 1/4 less than the complete arc is 3/8 mu naught I divided by R. So magnetic field at the center due to this arc which is 1/4 less than the actual arc, plus magnetic field at the center due to the straight conductor, straight wire, magnetic field due to a straight wire, mu naught by 4 pi I divided by R. This portion is not contributing to the magnetic field at the center. It has no contribution to the magnetic field at the center. So here that value becomes 0. So the first option should be the answer. It is 3 by 8 mu naught I by R. Please do remember this. Magnetic field at the center due to 1 by 4 quarterless of a circle. Magnetic field due to a straight wire, and the first option will be the answer.